What's up, YouTube? It's your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for The Oval on BET Season 3. Is it Season 3, you guys? Yeah, it is. Season 3, Episode 13. The episode was titled Tragic Monologues, you guys. And before we go ahead and jump to the review, you guys, if you guys are watching this video or any other on the channel and you guys are not subscribed to the channel, I'm gonna need you guys to do me a solid favor and hit that subscribe button, turn your notifications on, like the video, and share the video. And you guys, with that out the way, without further ado, let's get into this episode of The Oval, Tragic Monologues. All right, you guys, so this episode, it picks up where the last one left off, you guys. Jason. Oh, God, you guys, Jason. So Jason, he jumped. And he hit the car so that's Bobby's car that he jumped onto, right, where Kyle's in the back seat handcuffed. And Kyle's like, what's going on? Did you not, okay, whatever, right? So Sam comes out. Sam asks, what happened? Obviously, this nigga just jumped off of the building, off the White House, right? And then he asks Brick, how did you let that happen? Sam. How did he let that happen? I mean, we all know how cunning and crafty Jason is. So is it really a shock that he was able to, trick? I mean, he's been able to sneak out of the White House. So is there any shock that this kid jumped? I mean, come on. The kid, he did this to himself a few episodes ago. So are we surprised? We really shouldn't be, right? We really shouldn't be. So then they get Kyle out of the van, right? And Kyle wants those handcuffs off of him. Brick was about to take them off. Sam says, absolutely not. I'm your superior. And I said no, right? So then he tells Kyle that he's going to be held on orders from the vice president, right? And you guys know the vice president went to the press room, gave that whole speech about the fact that Victoria and Hunter are the ones behind. Technically speaking, if we're being honest, Victoria and Hunter, that we know of, haven't unlived anybody, which we're going to talk about that in a little bit. The fact, because I have an issue with how they're writing, how Tyler writes Alonzo. He writes Alonzo very stupid, right? But to this point, Jason is the one who unlived Jean. Jason unlived Denise. Jason unlived Maud. And then it was Kyle who unlived Diane. And who else is unlived? Who else do we have that's unlived? Oh, Ellie. Now, as far as Ellie goes, I still have money on Victoria unliving Ellie. But I don't know, right, you guys? So then we see Hunter, Victoria, and Donald, right? So they're standing outside of the press briefing room and they're still watching as, Eli is giving his speech, right? So then Hunter wants to stop this speech. Donald says, no, not with the press there, right? So then Bobby and Max are on stage with him and his wife, and they're like, we need to get them off the stage, right? So when they get off the stage, they go into the hallway. Then up walks Hunter, Victoria, and Donald, right? So they say, let's go into the Oval Office and have a conversation. Max is like, you're not going in there without me. No, we're not doing that. And then, no, you're not going in there without me, right? That conversation was back and forth. And that's it. That's where we're going to leave that conversation at, right? So then Sam comes running in there and he wants to talk to Hunter and to Victoria, right? To no avail. Neither one of them want to hear anything that he has to say, right? So Hunter eventually left because they're now going to go into the Oval. Hunter left, and then Sam tried to talk to Victoria, but she brushed him off too. It's about your son. She's like, I don't give a shit. So then Donald was the only one who had some concern, right? He asked Sam what's going on, and he tells him what happened, that, he just jumped off the building. So then he asked him about Kyle. Now, I don't know why Sam lied to him saying that he doesn't know about Kyle when Kyle is in a bunker, but hey, it is what it is, right? So Donald goes into the Oval Office and he tries to tell Hunter what's going on, but Hunter tells him to shut the fuck up. So then Eli tells him that he's going to be going to the party that they're having for Hunter, and he says they can discuss him resigning at a party. Okay. So then Victoria says, what proof do you have, right? He says, we have a bloody mattress top. We have witnesses, including your wife. Donald was like, my wife? They said yes. So then Donald questions, so they eventually got Eli out, right? So it just left Sam in there. So then Donald asks Sam, was he trying to work for Eli? I don't know why he asked that question. It still, because I mean, it still makes no sense to me, but hey, whatever, right? So, where are we at? So Victoria finally tells Hunter about Jason jumping off the building, right? So now Hunter is all concerned. He's like, why come you didn't tell me about this? You knew about this before, and then you knew, Donald? Donald was like, I tried to tell you, but you didn't want to listen to me. So now he's playing the concerned parent, right? So Victoria then tells Donald, like, I need you to assemble the press corps. He says, ma'am, no, your son. Donald, she doesn't give a shit. How many more ways can that woman say it? And she literally said it in this episode, she doesn't give a shit, right? She says, you know what, Donald, don't worry about it. I'll have my team do it, right? So we're going to move forward, you guys. So then we see Sam. So Sam, he finds Bobby and Max, right? So he gives Bobby some keys to another car, right? He's like, what's going on with mine? He said there was an accident. So then Max asks him, what about Kyle? He says he's secure. He says, Max asked more than once about Kyle. Sam keeps telling him he is secure, right? But Sam is telling them, like, you need to get second lady and vice president to their motorcade. And they're like, we're not letting him ride by himself, right? That's fine. Don't nobody care, right? So then, where are we at? So then we see Nancy, right? So Nancy has Priscilla over at the request of Richard, right? So she asks her, why am I here, Nancy? She says, let me guess, Richard wants you to talk to me. She says, yes. She says, I'm fine. So Nancy says, why don't you take some time off? She says, no, what the hell will I do? Like, I can't be like you. I was like, oh shit, that was shade. But then she says, she's talking about how bad Victoria is. At this point, Priscilla, yes, Victoria is a terrible person, right? But this isn't making you look that good, right? Because it begs the question, she slept with Sam. Why do you continue to go work at the White House knowing what this woman has done? It just begs that question, right? So then we move over and we see Sam and Richard talking, right? So they talk about Jason. So Jason, at this point, he's in critical condition, right? So Richard says that, the vice president, he's definitely onto something, right? But, the kid, he confessed to the situation with Gene, right? So then Sam says, well, why don't you come and talk to him? He says, Sam, I can't talk to him, but why don't you tell him? He said, because we're lining, Sam said that they're lining up witnesses, right? Now, the thing is, with Richard, Sam can tell them what he knows, but if it goes to the courts, they're not going to, that would be hearsay. And nobody listens to hearsay. They listen to what they actually can literally prove. Someone else, like, if I heard Jason say he unlived Gene, then I would be the one to tell. I couldn't tell someone else, and they'd be like, well, he said this and he said that, because that is what he said, she said, which is also hearsay. So then he asked him about, did you talk to him about Sharon? He says, well, I talked to the chief of staff about Sharon. He says, really? He says, you need to be careful of that, which that is true. Be careful of Donald, because Donald is just as dangerous as Hunter and Victoria. So be mindful and be careful of that situation, right? So we're gonna move forward, you guys. So Alonzo, we see Alonzo. Alonzo shows up to Alan's crib, right? So Alonzo is asking Alan if he heard about Jason. He's like, what are you talking about? He said he jumped from the building. Alan ain't surprised. Hell, nobody should be surprised about what happened with Jason, right? So then he talk about Ellie, and he says that Ellie really loved him. He says, I loved her more. I was like, okay, so we finna do this, right? So then Alan is talking about the fact that Ellie was the president, right? And Alonzo's trying to say, well, you don't really know that for a fact. He says, yes, I do. She told me that, right? He had nothing to say when he said he told her. She told him, right? So then he says, he's talking about the fact that Victoria, he believes that Victoria is the one that, unlived Ellie, right? Now, Alonzo, at the time of Ellie's untimely demise, you were with Jason, right? Because y'all have 24-hour cut. Y'all have to watch Jason 24 hours, right? And it was you and Brick. And he's been at the White House the entire time. So I don't understand how stupid Alonzo is that he believes that Jason is the one who unlived Ellie. At the time that Ellie died, you were with Jason. Like, I don't know if Tyler forgot he wrote that. Well, I can't be actually, yes, I can be. I think I'm right, but I could be wrong. You guys can correct me in the comment section. But I do know that I'm right about the one part that at the time that Ellie died, Jason had just tried to take his own life previously by that part, right? So Alonzo and Brick were on him 24/7. And actually, speaking of which, because Brick was currently on him, right? So he just jumped and Brick was with him. So Brick is with him during the daytime. And that means Alonzo was with him at night. And I think Ellie died at night, right? So if Ellie died at night, that means that Alonzo was with Jason. So then how in the hell did Jason unlive Ellie if you were with him? Please answer that question. So then we see Dale, Sharon, and Kareem. They're at the pharmacy, right? So Dale and Sharon are all on Kareem's ass. He's like, y'all have been following me this entire time. Like, what's going on? Dale, however, wants to tell Kareem what's going on. Sharon, not so much. So then she notices that Richard is there, right? So she goes outside and she talks to Richard, right? So Richard just come. He's, basically checking in, and he tells Sharon that, Sam told him that they're going to be looking into this situation, right? So then he asks her, has anyone bothered her? She says no. Then Barry pulls up. So Barry has put two and two together about what's going on, that everything that's going on has something to do with the president, right? Because he remembers about what happened with Denise when he went to Denise's shop, when Max showed up, got Denise, and took her to the White House. And he's asking her, is that what happened with the president? He's like, the president is, which he is, he's a creep and all this kind of stuff, right? So he's telling Sharon to come home with him because that weak ass dude can't protect you. I thought he was talking about his daddy at first, but then I thought about it. He's not talking about Richard. He's talking about Kareem, right? So Richard tells Barry, son, let's go. So we see Barry and Richard, they leave, right? So then we're gonna move over, you guys. Actually, we're done with the note. We're almost done with the note. So we're gonna move forward and we're gonna wrap up the episode, you guys. So then we see Victoria. So Victoria is in the Oval Office, right? And Victoria is doing everything she can to evoke some kind of emotion. And she's trying to evoke an emotion that she is sad, that she is distraught about the situation with Jason jumping from, the jumping off the building, right? But when she does it, it's very affected. It's not real. It's no emotions there, right? So then Donald comes in, and Donald is talking to her. He's like, do you want to update on what's going on with Jason? She says, if you tell me that, it's only going to bring joy to my heart. I was like, damn, like you carried that boy for 9 months, and you gave birth to him, and the fact that not Hunter, but Donald has come in here asking you, do you want any kind of information on how your son is doing? You are gleeful about it. Like, so then, where are we at? Let's see. So then she tells him, she finds this shit comical, and it's very funny, right? Now I'm gonna keep it real with you guys, because I died laughing at this scene, right? Because I remember the commercials. So if you guys are as old as I am, or a little bit younger, not that much younger, if you guys remember, like in the 90s and the 2000s, actually like the 2000s, right? The early 2000s, when Red Bull used to have them commercials, it's one commercial in particular that's sticking in my head. There was this cartoon character. He was on a building, right? And was it an angel that came to him? Because he was getting ready to do what Jason did. He was getting ready to. I think that's why this was written into that scene. Because remember the Red Bull commercial. The person just ended up jumping. The character ended up jumping, right? And he said, you should have drank a Red Bull because Red Bull gives you wings. So the ghost of that person drank the Red Bull and finally got his wings and flew away, right? So she said, like, what did he drink a Red Bull thinking that he had wings? And she just cracked up laughing. I'm like, what the fuck, Victoria? You are laughing about your child. But I mean, she don't give a fuck about either him nor Gail, right? Like, I'm like, she was dying laughing. But like I said, you guys, I kid you not, I was laughing like hysterically at her talking about did he drink a Red Bull and think that he had wings? As corny as it was funny, right? And then she was talking to Donald about the fact that she told him about, the Wizard of Oz with the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, and the Lion, right? She says, that's why I'm wearing this yellow, follow the yellow brick road, right? I was like, oh my God. And then she told Donald in one point in the scene that he was like the lion. You need courage. I was like, oh my God, Victoria is terrible, you guys. She is so terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. So then we see Max and Bobby, right? So Max and Bobby return to the hotel room where Lily is. When they get in there, Lily pulls the gun on them, right? They said, Lily, it's us. Calm down, right? So Lily, she's good. She's just been sitting there watching the news, right? She says, now, she says, what now? And they say, we don't know, right? So then Bobby tells her that they have Kyle, and she's like, I want him brought to me. So that's the thing between she and Max. Both she and Max want Kyle brought directly to them. They want to handle him, right? And she says, this won't be over until he's unlived. And I'm thinking she's talking about Donald, right? So then Max was on the phone with Sam, and he's trying to get Sam to, drop. Sorry, you got something that's in my eye. So Max is trying to get Sam to drop Kyle off to some undisclosed location, so that way Max can deal with him, right? So then we see Max. Max is left, and they're like, "Where are you going?" He's like, "I'm going out. I'll be back." I'm like, so y'all not going to at least follow him to try to figure out where he's going? But okay, I guess, right? So then we see Victoria, right? And you guys remember that Victoria had asked for Donald to, get the press corps together, right? So she goes into the White House press briefing room, right? She goes up to the to the little stage, and she addresses the press. For a person who couldn't evoke any kind of emotion, but even still with this emotion that she was trying to, portray to the press, it still seemed a little fake to me. I can still see through it. I don't know if the press can, but you can see through it, right? But she's crying, talking about Jason, right? And then she just lets it out, right? We see Hunter watching it, we see Alan and Alonzo watching, and we see Priscilla watching. Priscilla's pissed off, right? Like they gonna believe, excuse me, she like they gonna believe this shit from this bitch, right? And then Hunter's like, yeah, she gonna spin this shit. Oh, did she ever, right? So she spun it, but she actually told the truth, which is the interesting thing, right? So she's talking about the fact that she went down to Denise's store, right? And that Denise was she liked her dresses. Denise was gonna send her some dresses, right? Jason, I guess, was fascinated with her, and he hurt her. And then she said that he hurt another person that worked on staff at the White House, right? Which we know that that's Jean. But then here's the interesting thing. So once the episode, and then she passed out, right? Pretended like she passed out. But here's the interesting thing. So at the end of the episode, because from what I was gathering, the way that Victoria was talking, she was saying that Jason unlived Denise, which is true, and that he unlived Jean, which is true, right? But the little briefing that came on after the episode went off, the news correspondent, she said that he unlived Denise and Diane. I could be wrong, but I didn't think that's what she was talking about. I thought Victoria was talking about Denise and Jean. I could be wrong, you guys. Let me know. That was it. I don't know. Let me know. Let me know in the comment section, guys. I don't know. Maybe I missed something. But that's it, you guys. Like the video, leave your comments in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, turn on your notification bell button so you guys are notified when I drop anything else. Share the video, you guys. And until the next one, stay safe, take care of yourselves. Remember, wash your hands, wear a mask, socially distance, you guys. Be blessed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.